to build their mound against, because that way they can use the heat that the bees are generating to rear their own brood, help them rear their own brood. You done? Anybody else? Okay, we're going to see if...
Yeah, did you keep these on the ground?
Yeah, most of my colonies that I manage commercially are on pallets. I like that first big one that we went into,
Right.
just so I can pick them up and move them if I have to. If they're not on the ground, they're not far off the ground, but you can put them on cinder blocks.
Is there a distance that's a problem? Bring them up to waist height?
Yeah, that's fine. You got to remember, and this is the one, who's going to be next, by the way? Time to pass that hive tool off. The one thing you've got to consider is if you start stacking honey supers on, you don't want to have it so that your honey supers are up like this.
Right, yeah.
Unless you're, stout and you've got a sturdy ladder.
So will the bees, the ants invade the hive?
They will in the summertime,
So
in particular.
What do you do about that?
Well, I recommend using one of the products that is not one of the old-fashioned insecticides that has a lot of vapor activity.
Amdro?
You want something like Amdro, something that doesn't have a lot of vapor pressure, and it's more of a bait formulation.
I wasn't sure if the bees would eat the bait, but it's specific to ants.
Well, you don't want to drop it at the entrance, because if you drop it at the entrance, they'll treat it like pollen, and they will ingest it. So you want to distribute it around the hives, not where...
So I see Lowry pretty mature here. I think we got some honey on this side, right there.
Good.
Got the pollen over here on the left side.
You don't see anything wrong with the brood, do you?
I think so.
We haven't encountered any diseased brood, but one of the things that you have to keep an eye out for is that even when it's just a matter of poor nutrition, sometimes that makes the larva vulnerable to bacterial infections or fungal infections, and you can get diseases cropping up. So you want to... Visual diagnosis is best. It's very difficult for me to teach that to you unless we encounter it. And one of the last things we're going to do today is to go to a comb that I know has some larvae on it that are not healthy, and we'll show you that.
What I've heard
Okay,
about
easy. There you go. Easy. You got
the fire ants.
easy.
There's another thing too.
Okay.
A&M has come out that they've gotten there's an actual wasp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it will interfere with the bees. That's the only thing haven't heard anything about. That will actually...
I think it's species specific.
That will go after, and it's a natural way to go after the fire ants, specifically for the fire ants. So and that they work pretty good. They've actually released some in the Austin area. But you can call about them to see about getting them, and that they're very good.
Well, I encourage you to do that then. It sounds like an interesting...
Is that honey?
Pardon me? There's a little bit of honey right around the top.
Some larvae.
These combs are all full of brood though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're gonna...
Are you ready to put a next
Uh-huh. That's exactly right.
Okay.
This colony is ready for a super.
But you want all of the combs to be full of brood before you...
No, you just want the colony comfortably full of bees without a lot of excess room.
Okay.
Can you point out old and young ones for me?
Mm-hmm.
What is the time frame this took to develop?
This was started earlier this spring. I see my foundations popped out of my groove, so I'm going to put those reinforcing wires back in the groove where they belong.
So when you say started, was it like 100 bees or?
No, it was 3 pounds of bees, which is roughly 12,000. What comes in a package?
I have no clue.
that's what comes in a package. 3 pounds of bees and a queen.
And that's
Okay, so
packaged
young
different.
ones, let's get out in the sun. It's so much easier. Yeah, a package is an artificial swarm. You see that shipping cage on top of the top bar hive?
Yep.
That's a package.
And the nuke, what does the nuke come with? How many?
4 combs of brood and bees and a queen. Okay, so here in the middle, let me tick off some cells again that have eggs in them. Oh, where's my hive tool? Don't see it. That's all right, I'll use a stick.
Here you go.
There. That one to me really stands out, so I sure hope you can see that one. Move. They don't want me messing with their brood nest. Okay, so I've ticked about 4 of them there that have eggs on them.
I guess one thing that I wasn't watching for, I wasn't watching for the queen. We probably should be, right?
Yeah, you always want to scan the comb for the presence of the queen. If for nothing else, you would like not to mash her accidentally, right?
So if we have a reasonably healthy hive when we buy our nuke, I'm buying my nuke next week.
Okay. Who's next?
Sorry.
Oh, you keep talking. I'm not trying to interrupt you.
What sort of time frame?
Before you get started, let's put a puff of smoke on it.
What sort of time frame to develop to this level? So that'd be a couple months.
I would say 2 brood cycles.
What's a month?
A brood cycle is the time from embryo to adult.
Okay.
So if you remember what I told you, 3 days is a egg, 6 days is a larva, 12 days is a pupa, adds up to 21. So 2 brood cycles, 42 days.
2 days.
If they're growing, right?
Right. Fed.
So is that honey in there in between the brood?
Are we about to have bees drip off the comb? We are. Here, let's get it back over. Real quick. Did you ever see the egg?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you had a question?
Oh, I was just looking in between the brood. Is that honey in between in some spots?
That's certainly what
Right.
happens
In the center.
when the
It was just really shiny. Kind of in this
Mhm,
area. Okay.
there's pollen
Right
and
in
they've started
there.
to put, yes, that's exactly right. That's fresh nectar that they put in there.
So do you keep water running somewhere so that you can water them?
We don't. We have a couple of troughs over there that have water in them. So that's their
You keep-
backup
you
source.
Keep water
Yeah,
there.
yeah. We don't have running water anywhere in terms of,
So that was kind of a question we had at our place. If it starts getting dry, do we need to put a little trough of water out close to the hive?
if you have a natural water source anywhere in the half-mile area around your colony, that's probably close enough.
Really? Okay. So we have a pond.
Yeah, they'll go to that.
Really?
Yeah. Now, if you have a swimming pool that's closer than the pond,
Oh, yeah.
you might want to provide water.
That's good water.
Yeah,
Well, there is.
that's closer than your swimming pool.
Yeah. No, the pond's farther than
Once they start foraging for water to place, it's very hard to get them to stop.
Very heavy.
Pardon me. Okay.
All closed.
More brood, right?
Yep.
How many combs of brood have we got?
Beautiful.
1, 2, 3, 4. This makes 5, right?
It does.
That is pretty. Very
And they're
heavy.
bringing in pollen, so they're going to be rearing more.
Very heavy.
So
So
pollen
that's
does what?
closed off
Pollen is their protein source.
Okay.
pretty much.
And they either have to have pollen stored or they have to be bringing in pollen or they can't reproduce. So if the colony's pollen starved, they stop rearing brood.
It's pretty much all brood. Looks of it.
Yep, that's right. They don't have a lot of pollen stored, so they're really going to get busy hauling pollen
Is that
today
a little
now
bit
that
of
the
honey
sun's.
on the end right there, right at the edge?
You know what?
Or it's
I
hard
think
to tell.
I think it is.
Just a couple
Yeah.
of little. Not,
That's right. Like right there.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, not much, just a little.
Yep.
Wow.
Seems like they concentrate
Anybody? No.
certain things in one area, pollen in one area, honey in one area. Is that just
Some colonies do it differently than others. What I like to see is a centralized brood nest surrounded by pollen, sometimes even a fringe of pollen around the brood, and then honey on the outside.
Next.
Who hadn't done it yet? Yeah, you're closer to that side, so work from that side now. If you need to put the hive tool down, do.
I think there's eggs. Honey,
Mm-hmm.
pollen. This one's, they're starting to do honey in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's exactly right.
There is some brood on the outside, I think.
Okay.
Is that any brood out over here?
I think that's honey.
Is that honey?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this side of the comb is honey.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's capped honey? Up here?
No, that's just the foundation you're seeing there. That's
Oh.
black plastic.